Hello, welcome to today's tutorial on Lookahead filters in Microsoft Project. This video is primarily targeted at Primavera P6 users who are new to Microsoft Project. To generate a Lookahead filter, you need to you're filtering for like three criteria: tasks that are in progress, that's where the percent complete is greater than 0 or less than 100% as tasks that are not complete, or tasks that are starting within your look ahead window. In this case, within the next 2 weeks, that's where the start date of a task is greater than the status date. I'm using status date in this example. Status date is similar to your data date in P6. If you don't have a status date set, you can use current date. So where the start date is greater than the status date and the start date is less than or equal to your status date plus 14 in my case, because it's a 2 week look ahead. So if you've got a 30-day look ahead, you plus 30. If it's a 90-day look ahead, plus 90. And the third criteria is tax finishing within your look ahead window. That's where the finish date is greater than the status date and the finish date is less than or equal to the status date plus 14 for my look ahead, because I'm doing a 2 week look ahead. But if you notice, tasks that are finishing within the next 2 weeks, if they've already started, will be covered by this criteria. But if they've not started, it means for them to finish within the next 2 weeks, within our look ahead period, they must start within the look ahead period. So if they are not already in progress, it means they'll start after the status date within the next 2 weeks. And if that's the case, and finish within that 2 weeks, because they're starting within the next 2 weeks, this criteria will capture it. So technically, we don't need this criteria. We don't need the third criteria when building our look ahead. So if we go to Microsoft project schedule, this is an example schedule we have. If you go to project information, you can see I've got the status date as Sunday, the 3rd of April. You can see I've shown it at the end of the day, 1700 hours. If you want, you can make it the 4th of April, Monday, 800 hours. That's still the same thing. So we're looking at status date of the 3rd of April. So if I say, okay. So now, Microsoft Project comes with a default look-ahead filter, and it's the date range filter. So you see, click on date range. So that's you go to view under the data group. From the filter drop down, you pick date range, and it prompts you for the date range. So it's asking for tasks that start or finish after. So in this case, start, okay, and before. So 14 days after the 3rd of April will be the 17th, and your activities are filled. So if you're happy to do this every time, to select the dates every time, then you can use the default date range filter for your look ahead. But people who are coming from Primavera P6 are used to setting their filter once in a layout or viewing, as it's called in Microsoft Project. Um, and once you open that layout or view, your filter is applied. So we want the same in Microsoft Project as you have in P6. So if I start, let's say, first of all, let me save this view. So if I save this view, call it a 2 week look ahead. So you can see it's selected. So let's see if we can create a filter that will be attached to this view. So if we go new filter, so remember our criteria, tasks that in progress, percent complete between greater than 0 and less than 100, and task with start date greater than the status date and less than or equal to status date plus 14. Let's see if we can implement that. So we start with percent complete is greater than 0. That's fine. And percent complete is less than 100. Well, that part is easy. And the second set of criteria, we do an or. You leave a space. So these two are treated together. The next set of criteria will be treated together too. So you go start date, start is greater than status date. Unfortunately, even though status date is a field in Microsoft Project, it's not available in filters. I don't know why. Let's see if we can make use of current date. Current date is also not available in filters, which means we're stuck. We can't use status date or current date. But not to worry, there's always a workaround in Microsoft Project, and that's where your custom fields come into play. Custom field is like global change and user-defined field together. It's turbocharged. So if we come to, let me just add our custom fields first. Let me add one custom field to, to our table. So if you do insert column, if I go for flag, I'll go for the last flag, say flag 20. Flag is just a Boolean field, which gives you a true or false answer. True appears as yes, false appears as no. So what we want to do is set up a formula that will check for these two criteria, and if if it happens to be true, it will display yes in this field. And with that, and if there's yes in any field, that means that task is within our look ahead, and then we can apply a filter to it. So if I go custom field, rename this flag 20 to 2-week look ahead. Like I said, if yours is like, if you want, you can go 30-day look ahead. Give it any name that suits you. Okay, and then we need to formula. So the first formula we need will be for the first criteria, that's tasks that are in progress. So if we go open bracket, number percent complete greater than 0 and percent complete less than 100. We close the bracket. So we fulfill this first criteria. Now let's try for the second one. Also, our filter is saying if a task is in progress or the task is starting within the next 2 weeks, displayed in the view. So we go for or here. It's a logical or. Open bracket. We look for our start field. Start, it's greater than our status date. Status date comes under project date. And that start date is also less than or equal to 14 days. The status date plus 14, that's within the 2-week period. So you go project status date plus 14 and you close this. So that's the first criteria, that the task is in progress or the start date is within 2 weeks of the status date. You click OK. It's saying it will erase data already in the field. That's fine. We don't have any data there. It says syntax error. Let's look for it. It will highlight it. So I'm missing the status date less than or equal to start date is less than or equal to status date plus 14. So click OK. Yep, our formula is fine now. You click OK. You will notice that this 2-week look ahead flag field is now populated with some activities. Remember our status date is the 3rd of April. So this milestone, yep, is within 2 weeks. This is already in progress and that's why it's being captured. This finishes within 2 weeks. Yep, 14th. This starts within 2 weeks. 2 weeks of the 3rd of April is the 17th. Yep, that's why it's captured. You can see, so activity starting or in progress within the, still in progress within the next 2 weeks, have this flag as yes. So now we can go to our filter, create a new filter, call it 2-week look ahead, and we say we look for a flag. So we look for the flag. It should normally appear at the top. You see 2 week, because I've used numbers, so you see 2-week look ahead, and we say it's equal to yes, true or false. Yep, and if it's the case, you save. So now I want to show. Normally, I check show related summary column so that you know which WBS your task belong to. Save. Come. So your new filter appears within the custom list, not in the inbuilt. So you click 2-week look ahead, and you've got your filter. You've got your filter, and now because you've applied this filter within your view, your 2-week look ahead view, it automatically saved with the view. So if I go to another view, go to Gantt, see the filter is now applied. Say I come back next week, just select, and the filter, once I select a view, it comes the 2-week look ahead view, it applies the filter automatically. And what happens is as you change your, so let's say I change my status date, say to the 27th of March. See, nothing happens per se, but see the flag, the flag has changed to no for a few activities. To reapply the filter, you either do Shift F3 or you just click the drop down again and click on the filter, and you see the number of activities within your look ahead is reduced now. So if I go back, change this my cutoff date back to my status date back to the 3rd, click drop down, select your filter, it appears. So you've got, and that's your filter. It's available to you all the time. Now, because this is a standalone file, if you're working in enterprise, it's different. I've never worked in an enterprise environment in Microsoft project. So if you want this filter to be available to anytime you open your a Microsoft project schedule, so that you don't have to repeat these steps, you just go to File. After creating you go to the organizer, you click Organizer, you look for the fields. So you've got your under fields. You see, this is the only custom field I've got in this file. I copy it to the global template. It's there now. I go to filter. I can see my 2-week look ahead filter here. Copy it to the global template. It's there too. So now let's close this. I can save this file. Now, if I open a new instance of Microsoft project, just say tasks, link them, just do 5 days each. Let's say, if we say the project started sometimes in March, say the 14th of March. So, let's set a status date. Let's go status date of yeah, the 27th of March. Okay. So I like adding the time part of the date so that it shows that it's the end of the day. Or you can do 28th of March, 800 hours. So if I click OK, now just assume all tags are on track. Just click. See, so if I add the percent complete column, only two. I need to have one in progress. So let's go back. Maybe change the cutoff date to a Friday, or say the 24th of March. That's 80%. So this activity should appear in our look ahead, and 14 days from the 24th of March should also include these two tasks. So remember we copied our fields and filter to the global template. If I go to confirm that it's there, if you go to custom field, flag, see, flag 20, it's there. This is a different file. I've not even named this file. It's picking it from the global template. And if I go to view, filter, you see our 2-week look ahead filter, it's also there. So if I click 2-week look ahead filter, it applies it. And that's because it's within the global template. You can see this is our new project file. The filter, it's copied automatically from the global template to every new file that I create. It's same with the look ahead. And that's how to create a rolling date look ahead filter in Microsoft Project. Thank you for watching. See you next time.